What's going on, everybody? John Bliss here, the Wasatch Way Podcast. I've got my co-host, Jeremy Osman, and special guest tonight is it third time or fourth time?
I think it's the third.
Third time.
Tori Broughton. So glad to have you back.
I missed you guys. Thank you for having me.
She's from Trek Bicycles. We're going to talk a lot about upcoming trails.
Bikes and
we're going to do a little less politicking this time.
yeah, let's talk about summery, spring,
I'm
outdoor
grateful for.
stuff.
Yeah,
Love it.
summery outdoor stuff, even though it snowed and it's
Snowed
like
today.
36 degrees.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
We'll pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
We drove down to Provo today, and like on the way down there was just these big, thick flakes, and it was really
Yeah.
depressing. I was so ready for spring, but
Yeah.
it's back.
So first off, we want to go over a little bit of the happenings that are going on.
Yes. You want to go over the Easter egg hunts first?
Let's do the
High stakes for
the
heroes?
high stakes for heroes.
Awesome. So if you guys watched about 2 podcasts ago, we had on the White Heart Foundation. They are a local entity that provides services for first responders and military veterans. They do these really cool
They're
they're
retreats.
retreats. Yeah.
They're retreats, but the way they described them is it's not a vacation.
It's
They
not.
go. I mean, they had mountain or rock climbing, biking, fishing,
Yeah.
stuff that was something to get your heart pumping.
One of our favorite episodes.
Yes,
It was definitely a tearjerker,
Yep.
and I was really
We
grateful to
made-
be able to give them that platform.
they made grown men cry.
They make grown men cry. That's the first words that happened on the podcast.
I love it.
That's why now I say there's 10 seconds of Mike being hot.
Yeah,
That guy didn't know. He was just
Like-
right as it turned on. And yeah, we just made grown men cry. And I was like, perfect. That's a perfect start. Anyway, they are having the High Stakes for Heroes Casino Night. And the cool thing is they gave us a promo code. They gave us a promo code Ostman. So if you want to go and buy tickets, which we recommend everybody does, when is it? It's May.
it's May 17th at the Grand Hyatt, the new Grand Hyatt
a
at
big hotel.
big hotel ski resort they're building over there.
Yeah.
I believe it started at 7 p.m.
Mhm.
and it's Casino Royale
It's
or no,
007.
it's 007 theme, and they said black tie is optional. I might go get fitted for a tux.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna wear a tux.
I'm still going to be in a flannel shirt.
Maybe we can put a little bow tie on you.
There you go.
You wouldn't see it. That's the problem.
We can shave that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll just put a bow tie right here.
Shaved it once, never again.
We'll just integrate a bow tie on your beard, then you can
See
see
if
it.
I get somebody to like braid it into a bow tie.
But there's going to be there's some new prizes that popped up, and my wife was really, really worried about telling me about it.
Well, let's go. Let's hear it.
So they have the 4 tickets, the 4 backstage passes that you can. I think that's the auction part to Coldplay.
Backstage
whether-
passes a Coldplay.
Yeah, there was the Coldplay where they,
Yep.
the concert tickets, backstage passes, and it was either for Vegas or Denver.
Okay.
I know from that podcast where Ostman's is donating. Well, Ostman's and Ostman's and the Wasatch Way are donating a brand new Traeger
Nice.
in a box. So it's never been out of the box. It's sitting in my garage.
Hasn't been abused by either of us.
Hasn't been abused, hasn't been used. The one that just came across that they emailed was a round of golf at Red Ledges. Now, for those of you watching that aren't BYU fans, you can plug your ears. It's a round of golf with Kyle Van Noy,
Okay.
and he's actually plays pro football now.
Who's he play for?
I'm
On
not
the
a,
spot.
I'm not a very good BYU.
Big
I'm not a
fan.
very big follower. I have several memorabilia of his from BYU that's signed, but
So it sounds like if you go, you're going to have to compete against this guy bidding.
it's not going to be that hard to compete. That one's. I know the last auction I went to, a round of golf went for like $1,000. I think it's like $1,000 just to golf Red
Oof.
Ledges.
It's a lot.
Unless you have a person that lives there. Don't quote me, but I think that's what somebody told me it was like $1,000 for 18 holes.
I'm not good at golf. I get really angry really quick.
That'd be expensive.
Yeah.
Anger management.
That's a lot of hitting a little white ball that.
So we tell you all of this to tell you this. Use the promo code Ostman, OSTMANN, and your tickets go from $125 down to
$25.
$25. And the hope with this, we're trying to put this out to the public as much as possible because we're hoping you rush, go buy a bunch of tickets and buy some for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your neighbors. And we want to pack that floor because we feel like if we get enough people in there, it's going to raise just a ton of money to help them
Yeah.
keep doing the good in the world that they're doing.
And the one gentleman that was on the podcast, Jed Morgan, I mean, the guy downplays it. I mean, he lost both of his legs, and pretty much the use of his right arm.
Wow.
And we watched the video of him rock climbing with his legs.
I felt really dumb because I was like, well, is he going to have a hard time with the stairs?
Yeah.
And then we see this video of him rock climbing. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, John was like, Jeremy, we podcast upstairs. How's he going to get upstairs? I'm like, listen, you're not going to tell this guy no. Sorry, you can't come up. And
He did the stairs.
Ryan was like, I'll just carry him up if I have to. But he did the stairs. But you watch him and the awkwardness of trying to climb with these legs, with the prosthetics. And afterwards, he said, after the video was done and after that, somebody approached him. They made climbing feet. He detaches it right here at the knee and he puts a foot right there. So he's like, what, 6 something?
He's about 6'2", 6'3".
He's about 6'2", 6'3". And he takes his prosthetics out, puts his little climbing feet at the knee, and he loses like 3 feet. But he can climb with them.
Yeah, he probably has better
Yes,
really
awareness.
cool.
Of where
Anna
he
was
is.
asking him, he said, I was about 6'4", 6'5" before the accident. And she says, well, wouldn't you want to be the same height? He goes, oh, no. He goes, center of gravity. He goes, he says, the smaller you get, the less you have to fall. So,
That's
No,
fair.
they were really great people. We're really excited to be able to support them. So go to the High Stakes for Heroes or go over to the White Heart Foundation. I tagged them on the video I put out earlier today. Go over there, click onto the High Stakes for Heroes, go buy some tickets. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And there's going to be snacks and drinks that you can buy. There's not going to be an
Poker
actual
chips.
sit-down food, but it's going to be kind of like some of the casino nights we've gone to here locally, where if you mass a lot amount of chips, you'll trade them in for tickets.
Yep. It's a lot of fun. Come join
Yeah.
us and come play blackjack with me. I have a blast playing blackjack. All right. So High Stakes for Heroes. And then going on in the community locally, I'm going to pop up this screen here. We are coming on to Easter Sunday. There are a bunch of Easter egg hunts going on. We have Spring Gardens. I think they're all on Saturday too.
Yeah.
Spring Gardens starts at 10 a.m. Heber Valley Funeral Home is having one at 11:30. Easter egg hunt at the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory here in Midway. They call it the Fort Midway hunt. That starts at noon. And then right on Main Street. I can't say it.
Is that
'cause
the
it's a
police
drag to
station?
move. Yeah, the police
There's
station.
something
one.
going on in front of there's one going on in front of the.
April 19th. It doesn't give a time. Oh, yeah, it does. 10 to 11. So here's all your different options. Go ahead and screenshot them right now while I have them on screen. And you're going to see me and my family there for sure. See my little kids running and going crazy.
Can I dress up as a little kid and
It's not hard for
you
you.
want to go crazy?
So those are the local events that I have.
Anna put a few down.
Graduations next month.
Yeah, graduation next month. If you get a chance in the chat, if there's any Easter traditions that anybody does,
I love that.
any Easter traditions that you do.
What are your guys's?
Ours was like Christmas. The baskets would be out and we couldn't go out until everybody was awake. So we'd all sit at front of the top of the steps or go jump on whoever wasn't awake and do it. Usually it was church on Easter Sunday and that was about it for us. Me and Anna don't really have a whole lot of Easter traditions. We go up to my in-laws for dinner, but
Yeah, I don't have any either. When we were little, we did, but now Easter is my favorite candy holiday.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, I love jelly beans, the Cadbury eggs, the little milk chocolate eggs. Of all the holidays, Easter has my favorite candy, so that's what I look forward to.
Anna eats the little, they're not the Cadburys, they're the little kind of like robin eggs that have chocolate
Yes,
in.
those.
Yes.
Yes,
Those, she starts eating those in January, so
Oh.
it's just not,
they're so good.
Whopper has those. Is that what we're talking about? The Whopper?
No, these
the Whopper
are
ones are good
a
too.
hard shell robin egg, and they're like are they C's?
No, I think
if
Cadbury
you're-
makes them.
Anna, if you're listening, tell us what they are. But she'll have a pack she'll have a pack sitting on the counter that she's eating them, and I'll grab them and eat them. And she'll go, "You eat all my eggs?" I'm like, "No, there's a few left." And she'll
They
open
are
up. There's like
good.
2.
It's hard to only eat one.
Kathy Ransbottom, you guys are doing such great things. Now I got to tell you this. You don't know who Kathy Ransbottom is, right?
No,
She was my bus driver when I went to
Oh,
school. You
I
can
am
tell.
very sorry.
You know what? For being as rebel of a kid as I was a really great kid.
Maybe we should have Kathy on here to tell some stories about driving John on the bus.
That'd be all good stories. I never got kicked off the bus. Never once.
You never.
I got suspended from school. Never got suspended from the bus.
But you were allowed to ride the bus.
You guys got to remember, I was 30 minutes away from my school. So I grew up in Franklin, Idaho. My school was about 30 minutes away. If I got kicked off the bus, either I didn't go to school and I had to work at home on the farm, or I had to walk. So I was always good on the bus.
I can't say that I got kicked off the bus several times.
Did you?
Yep.
Doesn't surprise me really.
I never got kicked off the bus, but the bus.
That doesn't surprise me either.
The bus was a very important part of growing up for sure. Because I wasn't 30 minutes from school, but we had probably an hour bus ride to get to school with all the stops.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing. Parents were already gone to work by the time I went to school. So you missed the bus, you were in bigger trouble with your parents than anyone.
Once I got out of elementary, I think I mentioned it before, my aunt worked at the middle school as the lunch lady.
Yeah.
And she just picked us up and took us to school.
Okay, so would you like to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the pump track? Do you want to talk about the trails? Or do you want to talk about anything going on in the truck?
I think the most exciting thing is the pump track, the all-wheels track that everyone in our community has either wanted or didn't know they want. So yeah, this is a rendering of the all-wheels asphalt pump track that will be coming to Southfield Park. Hopefully this fall. It depends on those two grants as to whether or not we get awarded those. If not, we got to regroup and find some more money and have it done next year. But Mia Yu of Wasatch Trails Foundation and I, this is a little dream we've had for the last couple of years, and it's finally coming together, and we couldn't be more excited about it. You'll find these all-wheels tracks all over West Salt Lake, which we found so surprising because we're such a cycling-centric community here. Yeah. We were surprised to not have one. But these were originally for bikes, but now they've been kind of designed to be used for everybody. And that was one of the grants that we applied for. You actually, it's bringing amenities to that are more accessible to more people. So having it in the park, it's within 2 miles of our population density here. And within a year, there will be a bike path to get you there off-road from almost everywhere in the valley, which is cool.
That's really cool.
The other cool thing is you can do anything. You can ride a scooter, a skateboard, a Walmart bike, an expensive bike, a medium bike, a BMX bike. It's an all-wheels track, and it will be wide enough for ADA-equipped cycles. The inside of it will be a little bit more beginner friendly, and then you can see on the left.
On the outside, there's
some jumps.
I'm just saying I can point to it on here, but like here where there's some bigger jumps and stuff like that. Now everything in white is asphalt.
It's asphalt.
It's not going to be concrete. It's
correct.
Asphalt.
It is asphalt. Yes. On the right, that little figure 8 over to the right is what we call the tot track. So striders and really small kids will be able to use that, and it'll be
in the center.
No, where he is.
Oh, is it really? Oh,
yep,
sorry, my bad.
There.
I was thinking the center area.
And so for those of you looking who can't quite tell, this is right there on Southfield Road. Mm-hmm. Here's those pickleball courts. The skate park will be up over this way, and the baseball fields will be right behind where we're looking, essentially.
Yeah, so we were just really excited to bring this to the community, and we're hoping that it really kind of starts a flywheel. Thank you. $750,000 project. Yeah, we're working with a contractor, a company called Avid Trails. They've built some others here around the state and around the country. They're actually out of Pennsylvania. If any of you followed my little county council campaign, when I went out west and looked at the pump track and the bike park that one of the developers had paid for over west of Eagle Mountain, this is similar to that. So what we're hoping is that once people see this and are more familiar with it, mostly government officials, they'll see how cool it is and how many people use it. Yeah. You'll go to this thing and it will be covered with children. It is not an advanced mountain bikers would love to use it, but they won't be able to because so many kids will be on it.
I think the other day I went by, I don't remember I think it was Saturday, I went by the skate park, and now that was something we talked about earlier, that the skate park is getting renovated.
Yes.
They're coping, they're doing some needed repairs. I thought they said, I guess sections of it were closed or it hadn't closed yet, but there was probably 500 kids. I couldn't really see much of the skate park because there were kids everywhere running around. It was like the first warm day and everybody was out.
I'm so excited for them to repair the skate park too. I don't have kids and I don't even skateboard, but I feel like there's just not a ton for kids in our community to do.
Right.
and especially right in our community. There's a lot of trails, but you need a car to get to those trails.
Yeah.
So this will be between the skate park and the pump track, the all wheels track.
Yeah.
Well, and you see all the time, and I mean, I see it on Facebook because I'm on there a lot with work, and it's always, we need something for kids to do. We need something for kids to do. They need to do this. They need to do this. I'm hoping that if it gets built, that people respect it, take care of it. Yeah. I mean, I hear a lot of squawk about the bathrooms. If we could just tone it down, on the destruction. I mean, if you want to destroy something, call me. I'll let you beat on a furnace out of here. Throw an air conditioner around.
I've done it. It helps.
We hope enough people find value in it. We think that they will, that they'll take ownership of it. And we've had a ton of community partners too. Midway is donating. So a lot of tap tax is being utilized for this. Okay. So all three entities, Midway, Heber City, and Wasatch County are all contributing to this. There's the UORG, which is the Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant that is being utilized for this. Lonnie from Legend Engineering has donated some of his time and services. Gravity Coalition has donated some cash as well.
Now, if somebody's watching this that wants to donate, they can
absolutely
donate.
Yeah, reach out to Wasatch Trails Foundation and just code your donation to Pump Track. Like I said, $750,000 is going to cover the asphalt, the work, the excavation, and the greenery in the middle. Yep. We're not doing live grass. We're doing turf. But any extra money we get, that'll bring benches, that'll bring more shade coverage. And those are things we hope to add in the future.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of awesome community partners, and just a huge shout out to the Parks and Rec Department. Tom and Heath, they donated this area for us to put this, and they've agreed to maintain it. And that was the tipping point. Once we were able to find the space to put it, and that's the perfect space. It's central. Like I said, you can get there safely, most people. I think it's going to be awesome. And we're hoping, like I said, if that UOR grant, if we get granted that grant, we will break ground late August. And so,
you look at the baseball tournaments that come in. I mean, families have kids.
Yep, exactly.
They got the pump track. They got the skate park. They got, the pickleball courts. Mm-hmm. If you can fight.
And they have workout equipment all across that park too.
Yeah. I was going to say, I noticed that one over there by the high school.
What is that?
It's a little workout. I mean, it's got rings and stuff. I think it's to kind of promote to have kids go and work out, because everything we'd have to be knelt down to use them because they're short.
I was going to say, because it looked like they had diving platforms on the one side. And so I didn't know if it was a mock-up of a pool, but it didn't make sense for it to be that. So that's a public thing. I can go check it out.
Yeah, that's a public thing. You can just walk over there and.
That's what Tom and Heath were really excited about, because they do really value the baseball fields, because they are revenue builders. But anything that will give, everyone has a little brother, sister, older brother, sister, or whatever. What are they doing while you're playing baseball? Anything to add amenities for those folks too, they were really excited about.
Smart.
And they also hinted at possibly giving us creative license to do something with, what would it be? East of there, the far east edge, where they'll store sand and stuff in the winter. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of a rough parking lot. If the pump track goes well, they said they would give us that space to do something with too.
Like a dirt track, like a BMX dirt track. I would like that.
That'd be cool.
Dirt's tough because it's
I'd go watch that all day.
It's high maintenance.
Yeah.
But when Avid came out to do the site visit for this, we went over and looked at that space, and there are actually quite a few different faux things that you can do to simulate dirt. And we talked about a couple different lines and make one a little bit more advanced, and something that you could actually do and wrap it around that parking lot so that it could still be parking for when they needed parking, but add something as almost like a corridor to get you into the park on wheels. They had some really cool ideas. So we're hoping that not only does this pump track kick off a bunch of other pump tracks in the valley, but gives Tom and Heath some faith in us to make something else for kids.
You know what would be fun?
What's that?
We need somebody to build a zip line course over the park.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Liability might be kind of
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna run it, but that'd be pretty neat.
It'd be really cool if they could run it over the equestrian center. So like as the rodeo or demolition derby's going on, you can zip line over it. That'd be awesome.
That would be insane. Yeah.
Okay, so we have the pump track.
So yeah, that's the most local cool thing that's happening, and just such good news, and we're just so excited about it.
Just something positive.
Yeah.
Something positive.
And yeah, all the local entities were involved. Nobody's arguing. Everybody's getting along to come together to build this little asphalt.
Yet.
Yeah, we'll see.
The minute it gets announced on Facebook, there's going to be the naysayers.
I mean, the only issues with a skate park, really, the bowling stuff, that's going to go on, but the bathrooms, that's probably been the biggest negative on that. But it gives something to kids to do.
But so the thing is that, like, back home when we got our skate park, I didn't skateboard, but I had friends that did, and the people that used those were the people who defended it the most, and like they stopped the people from trying to tag it. They stopped the people from trying to ruin it and get it closed down because they realized how much it sucks. We have nothing else to do, and that gets closed down. Yeah. So hopefully, like, that area will kind of patrol itself as well now that they know the consequences.
That's what the kids at the high school, or at the high school kids that work at my bike shop, told me. I don't skate. I had no idea. I knew we had a skate park, but I didn't really know much about it. And they were kind of talking to me about it. And that's when they explained to me that the surface of it had gotten damaged. Yeah. And so they stopped going. And once they stopped going, that's when people who maybe weren't skating, but knew that was a place you could hang out and no one else was around. Yeah. They really, and this was 16-year-olds telling me this. And they're like, that's when we feel like the vandalism and that stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And they said, if they would just repair it, we would all go back to it, and then that stuff wouldn't happen again, which I was really impressed that the 16-year-olds like understood that and connected those dots. But
that is cool.
It was a light bulb for me. And any chance I got to talk to somebody about it at Parks and Rec or with the TAP tax grants and things like that to help them understand from that level, because I didn't understand because I don't use it.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that that's probably where a lot of people were. So yeah, I'm excited that they're fixing that as well.
I know there was a Facebook post, I think it was on Ask Heber, some people went into the Junction, little cafe restaurant thing over there by Walmart, and they said some kids came in from the softball team and, there was like 15 or 20 kids, and they grabbed all the tables and scooted them together. And she said they ate, they had lunch, had dinner, whatever, they talked, they weren't loud. And when they got up, they moved all the tables back to where they got them instead of just leaving them.
Themselves.
That is a good positive story. Negative one, the movie theater the other night showing.
So, but that's not just our theater. That's like a whole thing.
Well, that's a whole thing. But
chicken jockey.
I told Anna, I said, if we would have gone, I'd have gotten in trouble.
Yeah.
Because I would have stood up. But the theater did what they needed to do. Yeah. They stopped everything.
Shout out Steve Anderson.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
He's a good man. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen how many's on TikTok or X, but there was one down in Orem that was way worse. And it was like college kids.
Yeah.
They were like jumping on each other's back, and they had a live chicken. They brought a live chicken. How do you smuggle a live chicken into a movie theater is beyond me. But they just went crazy. And I think it's planned. I think people plan for this. That way the movie gets more attention and more people go.
Yeah, more people go.
Yeah. The same person that wrote Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, interesting.
So,
I will say, being right next to the movie theater, that's the busiest I've seen the movie theater in a long time.
Yeah, it was a Minecraft movie?
Yeah. And every night.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
But if movie theaters bringing stuff in for people to see, respect that. So everybody can enjoy it.
Especially
because if he shuts it down.
Yeah. I'd feel bad if he shut that down, man. He put a lot of money into that, making it that nice.
Yeah.
All right. You want to talk about the Vivian Trail Park?
Sure. Yeah. Let's talk about the UDOT Trail Network.
Yeah. Okay. So we are on this screen here. This right here is Deer Creek. If you can see my mouse, but the big body water middle screens that these pink trails are ones that are being built, correct?
Yeah. So this is the railroad trail that I don't think originally started with UDOT. I think that people here in the county had been working towards getting this built. And then once UDOT started the UDOT Trails Network portion of UDOT, which we could go into, I don't remember all the details. It's on my Instagram if you want to see it. There was a state bill that got passed a year ago that gives a lot of money, million a year to UDOT to build a trail network around the state. So they want to connect the state with trails in the same way they've connected the state with interstates.
Okay.
But all have it be human powered or, bike access for people to walk, bike, and be able to get to all the same places in the same ease that you can on an interstate. So with that, they kind of adopted this rail with trail that was already being planned. And so a lot of that huge funding that's coming from UDOT can now go towards this. And so when you look at the pink there, so the pink is ready for shovels, and I believe that they are going to start construction on that this summer and will probably be completed by the end of this summer. That gray spot in the middle is still being studied for EIS, but they feel confident that that's going to be fine as well. So we're probably looking at construction for that next year. And eventually this whole trail will connect to Vivian Park. And
so where this pink leads on, this goes right down through on the backside of Deer Creek.
Yeah, and that's done now. It was gravel and they paved it, correct?
I don't think it's paved yet.
Not paved
but
yet.
It will
they're
be
talking
paved.
about being
it will
paved.
be paved once UDOT adopts this in.
And this is where the train runs too, isn't it?
Yeah, it all should be
the train's
rail
above that.
Yeah, but adjacent.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
That's why they call it rail with trail now instead of rail trail.
Now also, I think somebody said that in the future, I know they've been working on, I think, above Vivian Park. I mean, there is a trail that goes up like past Bridalveil Falls and stuff, but they've been working on some of that trail to widen and do stuff. But somebody had mentioned you'll be able to, some people will be able to, what the future, what they wanted is to have the train go all the way down to Provo. Or they would be able or they would bike up the trail and be able to get on the train, and the train would take them back so far, and then they could go back down.
Yeah, and maybe that is to Vivian. Yeah, you could be right about that. I've heard that. Yes, now that you mention it.
But I thought that would be cool because I know some of my friends will go down and park a vehicle way down somewhere in Provo, and then they have another vehicle up top, and it's a little nicer to ride downhill. Yeah. But they'll ride the whole trail down to their cars and then, picnic or whatever along the way and stuff like that. I think that'd be cool, be able to ride. I mean, you could ride from here to Provo.
That's the thing, as long as it's connected to that canal trail down in Provo. I mean, you can actually connect all the way down, I believe, to near where Geneva used to be and catch a trail that would take you north, and you can get all the way to Salt Lake.
I was going to say, I think this one they said you can connect to different trails and get to Utah Lake and Geneva and back up through.
So the trail that goes to Vivian Park, it runs down past Bridalveil Falls. How far down does it go into Utah County?
It goes right. You can actually, when you turn on 8th North and you see those people running along that trail. No. So if you come right to the stop sign and right to the stoplight out of the canyon, that trail that's the same trail. And as you go down University, that's the same trail.
And it connects all the way down to the lake, essentially.
Yeah.
Or it forks and goes to Provo.
Yeah. So right about when you come into Provo and University, about here, you can go, I believe, west, or you can keep going down south towards Provo.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like those trail systems.
So that'll be really cool. That's going to be a great amenity, and it's going to bring you right into Heber, which will then connect you to the 3rd South Trail, and then the 3rd South Trail will connect eventually, and there will be a trail that parallels 40, maybe not right next to 40, but it'll be adjacent to 40 and give us a way to get out to like 32 safely without riding on the highway. Yep. And then that will connect under and connect over to Mayflower, and you'll be able to ride on bike protected path all the way into Park City.
I was going to say, basically. I know if you go, I think it's out. Is it Jordan now? One of those, the old rail trail, the old gravel one that goes everywhere. I mean, I've seen people bike that, and that one's gravel.
Yeah. So this will all be connected probably within 5 years. Cool. But yeah, that's the first step, and they're breaking ground on that this summer, and a good portion of that will be done this summer, which, it's just nice these things have been being worked through for years. So once you break ground, it just feels like, okay, now the ball's rolling. So that's exciting.
Even, with that trail, if you're going adjacent to 40, there's Coyote Ridge I mean, I would say off-road trails, but
Yeah.
off-road trails, walking paths, whatever, you can access that. You can access that.
Yeah. The county is really committed to building the active trail network here in Wasatch County. Congestion is obviously a problem. We all know about that. And certainly active trails aren't going to solve all of that. But I think that if there were a safe way to get around town, more people would use alternative modes of transportation. There's just not a safe way at the moment. It's not connected. You have to be on the highway or cross the highway in a lot of situations. Midway is super ahead of the game. They've got a lot of bike paths that take you to places you actually want to go and to places that are just scenic and quiet.
They were doing a trail up Pine Canyon, right? Pine Canyon Road? Is that what my understanding
I think
was?
there was something going up there because it was going to come down center.
Yeah.
Something was coming down center. I know this last year they extended the one that went down, that went up towards the homestead around that turn. I'd like to go the other way and come down, and I don't want to ride up it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's exciting news for us. And I just think it really fits into our community. We're an active community. Yeah. People like to be outside. And as e-bikes continue to take a foothold here in the market, it just opens that up to a lot more people as well.
You're allowed to ride e-bikes on those trails or not?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Good.
Yep. Speaking of e-bike on trails, Heber City passed their e-bike policy this week. I don't know the details of it, or I would go into it. I should, gotcha. But there's some nuance, right, that I don't want to misspeak about, but you can find that on the city page. And I believe Midway has already passed theirs as well. And it's really just to try to make it a little bit safer. And to clarify, I think that the e-bike conversation is confusing. And the state code, actually, that the state adopted maybe 2 years ago at this point, is actually pretty comprehensive, but nobody really knows it, and it makes it really hard to be enforced. So I think they're just trying to work towards that, just to make it a little bit safer after some of the incidents that have happened.
Last spring, when the girls were just hit down the street, you know, and I mean, I was in one of the Midway City meetings last year that they brought it up and talked to it, and it was like helmets, speed, because, we talked a lot about those little, I don't want to say to me, I think it was coded as an e-bike was a bike with pedals, but anything that was motorized, like those little motorcycles, those need to be licensed for the road, and they need to have a license. You have to have a helmet on, you have to have a license. If you're 16, I think if you're under 18, you have to have a helmet on.
Yes.
But I was coming to work, and one of those whizzed past me at 70 miles an hour, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think, so the state of Utah, if you're under the age of 14, you're not even allowed to ride an e-bike with the motor engaged.
Really?
Without an adult immediately present.
Gotcha.
But how many kids do we see under the age of 14?
All the time.
Either on the motorcycle style or the e-bike style. So, they're just trying to make it a little bit safer and avoid some real injuries. But so that was also passed this week, which will make everything a little bit safer. But
so mountain trails right now, they're still wet. People should be staying off of those right now. Currently.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you asked about backcountry trails, because that's another huge part of our community here. So like Jordan L. Ridge Trail System, also known as Coyote, Dutch Hollow, those they were closed and then they opened for probably 2 weeks. I mean, everything dried out really fast. Now, because of this rain, stay off of those for a couple days, but they'll probably be dry here again in a few more days.
Okay.
Which brings up another great topic. All three entities, Wasatch County, Midway City, and Heber City, have allocated TAP tax funds to Wasatch Trail Foundation to maintain backcountry trails for the summer. So there'll be a full-time crew maintaining backcountry trails for hikers, equestrians, mountain bikers.
That used to be volunteer only, right?
Yes.
Which is hard to get volunteers for.
Yeah. So this will be a 3 or a 5 person full-time crew through the summer, paid for with our TAP tax money that we've all been paying into, to maintain amenities that we all use. And really it's to clear brush, to take care of any invasive weed species, and to do maintenance for water runoff and just for safety as well. So that was a huge commitment on all three entities' part to buy into that. And Heber City, actually, they're doing a pilot program because they're considering putting this into their actual budget to maintain in perpetuity. And so the contract with Wasatch Trails Foundation is to see how the next 2 years go, and really also help the city kind of maintain an inventory of what the trails are and what exists and what condition they're in, and all of those things. So
Yeah.
Well, I was just looking online, and there's a video on YouTube that talks about the e-bike. And I know with the laws, there's a class 1, 2, and 3,
Mhm.
and 1 is like a pedals.
Right.
2 is like no pedals, but
no, class 1, 2, and 3 are all still bicycles. At this point, so a class 1 is a pedal assists up to 20 miles per hour.
okay, yeah.
A class 2 has a throttle, but still has pedals. A class 3 assists up to 28 miles per hour. So some class 3s also have a throttle. Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
that's where there's some
I think I
crossover.
have my older whatever I bought. I don't remember what it is. It'll do 30 something miles an hour, and it's pedals and throttle. So it would probably be a class 3, or it could be a class 2.
I learned the other night from Chief Sever, and I hope I'm not misspeaking, but he said anything with a throttle that assists or goes faster than
Excuse me, I got to go downstairs.
28
Something's down there. It's probably Anna or something.
is a motorized vehicle.
Gotcha.
So there was definitely some confusion about that. But
Now, we had talked about this last time too. Can you, right now, are there any trails that are open for the ski lifts to take them up and come down? Have those started yet?
no, because the ski areas are still.
Are they still snowy?
Yeah, I heard Deer Valley got a foot today.
A foot?
Yeah. That's what a customer told me this afternoon.
That's wild. Are they still skiing?
I think they closed the 22nd of April. So maybe this is their last weekend.
Okay.
Those lift accessed stuff typically doesn't open until mid-June, maybe mid to late June.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's mud season, right?
But we are about to be in mud season, yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, that's how much sooner our trails open than Park City. Like 2.5 months sooner in a normal, non-crazy snow year. Because yeah, our trails have been open for a week or so.
Gotcha. It's really cool that they have that, though. I'm excited to go take my daughter and watch those happen.
It's just the associate producer down there milling around.
The associate. That's funny. So I don't know if you guys noticed behind us, but there's no more white gaps, and they've been expertly crafted by Jeremy's better half.
Yes. So no more white. Jan doesn't have to see very much of the old lady
Old lady
wallpaper.
wallpaper. She needs to come on and talk about some of the cool stuff she's done. She's a great lady. All right. Is there
Look
any
at
other?
my notes. Yeah,
Not this weekend, but next weekend, the 26th, Horse of Many Colors Love Giving Back Banquet. Don't know where the tickets are. We'll be there. That's something we support and do a lot with. That's next weekend. Tickets may still be available. Get on their Facebook page. You can go on and click and get tickets. They sell single and they sell tables.
Okay.
I think we were $350 for a table of 8.
That's not
And
bad at all.
it's a really good
Great
prime rib
dinner.
Yeah, where did they do
Great
that
dinner.
at Soldier Hollow.
Oh, cool.
Rob Edwards used to cater. I'm not sure who's cooking the food this year, but it's been an amazing. I mean, it's kind of buffet style, and they have a silent auction, and then they have the regular auction. And I think my wife is going to tie my hands behind my back because
What are they giving away or auctioning off?
who's that?
Love giving back.
Oh, they usually have guns. We had talked about, I've got to see my supply house. We were going to donate up to a 3-ton furnace coil and air conditioner.
Gotcha.
We're maybe linking that to a mini split just because what's going on with all the tariffs and the, prices have gone up quite a bit, but they have guns. Last year, Kokanee Crew gave, or last few years, Kokanee Crew, Corey Baker with the, guide service that he does usually donates a trip. I was told and threatened that I can't buy it this year. So
Shout out to Corey Baker. He's
Yeah.
a cool guy.
but it's just craft stuff from around the valley. I know Wendy Casey's donated several tent picks that I've bought in the past.
Yeah.
But it's just a ton of things. I know they do a lot of sports memorabilia. That's where I've got some of my signed shirts and signed things, there's always fishing equipment. It's just people from around the valley that donate stuff.
We should get a picture of Tim for behind us.
Actually, I need to talk to, I know Wendy used to, she doesn't do it as much anymore, but we might be able to talk to Johnny or somebody and get a big, I'd love to have the one my brother-in-law has. They took 2 pictures of Tim. It's like a panoramic, but they couldn't fit it on the canvas, so they did 2 pictures.
Oh, cool.
And somebody in his family pieced them together to the very flower.
Wow,
So
cool.
it's lined up perfect, but it's like it would go across this whole wall.
That's
and it's like all of Temp. So
Temp is majestic.
Yeah.
Every time you see it, you're just like, dang.
It's like living in a postcard. I say that all the time.
It is.
It is. I mean, growing up, I was talking to a couple up in Valley Hills that I was looking at a house bidding a house for the HVAC. And I grew up 2 blocks from Deer Creek in Charleston. So I woke up to Temp every morning. They're building a house kind of not towards the top, but upper. And there's very lindo windows that face east. Everything is west. And you go to their top level and they have a deck and it's tall. And so there's nothing.
Obstruction.
There's no obstruction at Temp at all.
You know the new memory care facility over here?
Mm-hmm.
My mom does the salon there for anyone who stays there. You can get your hair done, whatever. So I went over and visited her the other day. And yeah, some of their rooms, unobstructed view of Temp. I'm like,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
What a nice spot to be in.
Memory care, have your memory.
Yeah.
At least look out the window and
I
see
mean, there's
something
worse
beautiful.
things if you're going through that.
We looked at those new 3-story buildings south of Mountain Land Auto, and there's 2 or 3 of them that are for sale, and you have there's 3 stories, so right there, Wheeler Park's behind you. Yep. There's nothing. There's not even trees.
I love them. Are you talking about the commercial residential spaces?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my dream.
They're
$1 million a piece.
Yep.
And that's not why I'm selling my house.
And that is just
shell
to
build
that's
that.
not finished.
To build it out,
Associate producer says no more Temp pics or fishing trips.
She's on to you.
She's on to you.
She did not say anything about Kyle Van Noy golf trips.
Right, turn off commenting.
Can you pause commenting, please?
Carson Bothorpe. Last I knew, Dexter Edwards was running it now, but not sure.
And so Dexter would be Robbie's son.
Cool.
So that would be good.
Robbie's a good man. I never met a son, I don't think.
Yeah.
Mud season, get your trucks ready. All right, so I'm going to let my redneck show a little bit. Where I came from, when it got to be spring, a lot of the farmers' fields, before they got them all ready, you could go take your trucks out and do donuts. And
don't do that here.
Is there anywhere that don't comment about it? Because I don't.
They would let you?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
There was some
they don't have to brush
silly.
drag the field. It just gets all churned up. And
So in Preston, about 30 minutes north, there's a place called Benida. And there's this farmer's field that as soon as all the snow melted, it just flooded. It's just like this big old
bog.
Yeah. And they'd let us bring out the trucks, and like we'd have guys that built trucks up like tall. They'd go right through the middle, rip roaring, you have the rooster tails flying back, and we'd all just hang out and
I think here they kind of frown on ripping roads up because
if that's a thing, though, please message me. Don't give away the location, but I'd love to show my daughters that stuff because that was so much fun.
We did. I was gonna say in Craig, Colorado, we do the mud bog.
Yeah,
we had a 1976 F-250 Highboy.
Philip Kirk knows mud bogging, baby.
Oh, it's fun. It's just destructive to the roads and trails, and
the farmers didn't care though because they were about to go through
if it was like that, I know we would go up above Timber Lakes, and you'd always be just cruising on the road, and there'd be a snowbank, and we'd spend 45 minutes bashing through the snowbank because the other side was dry.
Yeah.
So, oh wait, what did Anna say?
Remember the mud bogs in Craig, Colorado.
She goes, I will be bidding on that.
Oh, she's going to be bidding on the golf trip?
I sure hope SuperCan makes some money between now and then.
SuperCan season.
It is. We got to do a video. We were supposed to be up and running this last Monday. We've taken everything off of the trailer and we're putting it on the back of a 1-ton flatbed. And so this weekend we're building the racks and stuff for the tanks, but
we're excited for you.
But we're hoping by May 1st she has her new truck. It'll be
awesome.
a lot less of Jeremy's F250 getting around.
That's such a cool business. I can't believe that it exists.
It's
And it's
I went
awesome.
down to St. George, and there's actually an Isuzu pickup, or not a Isuzu pickup, a Isuzu flatbed that is outfitted with 2 bays to wash cans, and this truck is just trash can. It'll do 75 cans a day.
Not to take away from Anna's business, I believe he's not doing it anymore, but I did have a customer who was 14 who spent his summer washing trash cans, $25 a piece.
Yep.
Saved up all of his money and bought himself a $4,000 mountain bike.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
He
that's,
was
I mean,
excited.
there's kids that do it. And, before we'd kind of be like, they're stealing our thunder, they're stealing our business. They're doing it to make money for school.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, this one is, not a pressure washer you go buy at Home Depot and run around and do it. I mean, this is a big operation, but she's got several customers here. She's opening Park City. That's the big push for getting a truck, because I don't want to pull in a trailer through Upper Park Avenue. They just won't fit.
That's exactly what she just commented too. It's more small road, Park City road friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really understood, like, oh, that's cool that you want to have a clean trash can. And then my service manager who moved here from California said, oh, in California, it's big business. Like, the state does it because you have to pull your garbage can into your garage.
Inside.
And that's when I was like, oh.
And that's where within Park City, that's where we're hoping, because a lot of the condos, they have to put them wintertime.
Coyote
If I
Ridge.
could figure out how to do it in the wintertime, I go into townhomes, condos, where you go into the garage and they have the trash can in there.
Yeah.
It'll push you over backwards. It just stinks, but it may turn into, we put them on, mark them, put them in a trailer, go pick them up, bring them here, wash them and take them back. I know there's a new service. John, you Tim Top put a survey out for today.
Yes.
So
it's kind of like a concierge type service where they would, SuperCan will show up the night before, grab your can, pull it out. That way you don't miss trash night. Come back the next day after trash has been dumped, clean it out for you, make sure everything's spotless, clean, smelling good, wheel it back up and put it in your garage for you or wherever your garbage can space is. Like a full. And
that's freaking awesome.
That's not weekly though, is it?
Well, so it's, I believe Anna probably commented, probably ought to get her up here and let her explain. But I believe it's $20 a month to wash your can.
Yeah.
And so there's different trash days around the valley here.
Right.
So the night before, like our trash day here is Thursday. So Wednesday night, she'd come over and roll the can to the street.
Okay.
And then that way it ensures, 1, your trash gets dumped, and 2, your trash can gets cleaned.
Right.
Because if you forget about it and don't get it dumped, then you've got to figure out how to take it over and get it dumped.
Right.
Or find a neighbor and haul it over to their house and put it up against the curb.
And as commented, that'd be an additional $10 a month, which is a steal of a deal.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Concierge service. I, for one, was like, why the hell do we need our trash can cleaned?
I know, that's
and
awesome.
I was the one that would dump grass clippings in there without a bag.
Yeah.
And then you'd go to throw a bag of trash in and be like,
yeah.
So my wife and I, we manage a condo in Park City that does short-term rentals. And you have that garbage can sitting in that garage. Oh, it's the worst. You open that up, especially after they've had some sort of food and left it sitting in that can for
a week or two, or whenever somebody goes in. And
so I got a Park City home for you guys to hit.
I know, just doing heating and air conditioning service, heating service like Chinese New Year. Everybody's here for skiing, and I don't know what they do, but man, them cans are just terrible. But I mean, some of these apartment complex or condo complexes are just subdivisions in Park City. You can have 2,000 cans.
Yeah, that's wild.
And and stuff. And with SuperCan, a lot of companies will wash them and dump that gray water in the street or in the drain. And we actually collect it and we dispose of it properly at a waste management facility or a sewer dump. We don't just dump it down the drain or leave it on your front lawn. Anna cleaned ours. I think it was in in Vernal. And we just planted our brand new lawn. And she cleaned it out and dumped it in the lawn, and it killed that corner lawn. And she didn't use any chemicals or anything. Right. She just sprayed it out. So it was just stuff that was in the can.
Wow.
So.
I knew if you guys were going to do it, you'd do it right. That doesn't surprise me.
That's Anna. I let her run that.
Enough
That's
trash
our
talk.
business. Enough trash
Enough
talk.
trash talk.
We didn't make anybody cry.
Not today.
Not today.
Want to remind you guys, we do have these stickers on sale. Living that Timp life. Proud to be from the Heber Valley. Wasatch Way Podcast. That's a easy, cheap way. These are for you, by the way. Thank you for coming on again. That's a cheap, easy way to help support the podcast, help us pay the bills, or keep these coming to you. We're hoping this spring and summer to start doing a lot more live on locations.
On locations, yeah.
We're really excited to get out there and do that. If you have a business and you want to host the Wasatch Way, I'm going to go ahead and put our contact info here on the bottom on that blue ticker.
The other thing too is if you know anybody in your life, in your circle, bigger circle that is an inspiration, that's the kind of stuff we want to put on here.
Yes, please.
We had McCarty Kelly on here and just a great, bright young lady in the Valley. The White Heart Foundation.
Yep.
Another one. We're not saying Tori's not important, but she's important.
I love to fill in when I can.
Yeah. And there'll be times that John or I, if, like last week you had to have somebody fill in and it's not, I've been gone quite a bit and it's just going to start gearing up for me as far as summer stuff. So, we may be bringing co-hosts on or fill-ins.
We may be lucky enough to do some from Swag's Cruise Night too.
Oh yeah,
so
that would be
with
cool.
Chevelle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
We could do that. We could have Mayor Mines on and President Broughton.
Or
Governor Broughton.
Governor.
Yeah, we have an election coming up this year, and I will not be on the ballot. How about you guys?
What's the election for?
What is it for?
City Council, 2 seats are coming up, and Mayor of Heber City will be on the ballot this November.
Andrew Mines, Mayor Mines.
I couldn't be mayor. I couldn't. You would catch so many hot mic moments on me.
Somebody would be there with a mute button every time, there would be a delay.
You would keep
in
it
the
interesting.
recording.
I bet more people would come to the meetings.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I'll consider it.
Right now, there's only 2
I
candidates.
felt bad though because we
Carson.
Don't forget
Rachel Kaler.
Yeah, Mayor Kaler would be good.
I know.
She'd be
waiting
awesome.
for that one.
Her daughter's got to get out of high school first.
I do want to tackle this though because Aaron I don't know if I should say this. Aaron Cheatwood was talking to me, said that his business after he got onto council took a hit because so many people don't want to support that.
Ask Rachel. That's something Rachel.
We shouldn't do that as a city or a community.
That I talked to Rachel when city council was coming up and everybody said, Jeremy, you ought to win. You ought to run. You're a shoo-in. And she says, if you want to see your business take a hit, run for city council. You're get on city council. And it sucks because if you think about it, if I got on city council, my heating and air conditioning business go under because it would be if I voted for a 500 home subdivision and it'd be, well, you're doing it because you're doing the work.
I didn't think that would happen either. And then I ran into a customer at a meeting one night that was I was at the meeting just because I go to all the meetings.
Yeah.
Carson Bothorpe said, I got one vote already.
That's all. I say do it. But anyway, I saw a customer and she's like, how do you feel about this? And we disagreed. And that's when I went, ooh.
Yeah.
This could negatively affect my business.
Rachel, just kind of told me some stories of, people that own construction businesses or was a general contractor and was on that. And I just said, if you're going to run, sell your business first.
Yikes.
And it sucks because I've seen that even in this last election as far as being a business owner. I think I can be against something, but I can set my feelings aside and still go and service 110% for customers and do their work. There's
somebody in the community that usually when we're online, I vehemently disagree with, but I still use their services.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a community, that's something we should be able to do. You should be able to support your neighbor and disagree with them. That's the whole point of civil disagreements, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did Megan say?
Fireworks, because I did the double thumbs up.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, that's one of the things is, as a business owner, we can have an opinion, but it doesn't. And I can see it as, it's my personal opinion as this. Well, that's your business's personal opinion. And I feel like I can set those feelings aside and say, I can still do 110% service, but other people view it different.
That is tough. Well, I think you guys would both be amazing up there, but nonetheless, keep doing this. You guys are doing so great at this. I love it.
Appreciate it.
It's fun.
A big part of it.
Yeah, it's
having
fun.
you come on and help us understand what's going on in the city and the community. That's been a big help because if we just go by what's online, it's very much the sky is falling everywhere.
Yeah, and that's hard. And I wish I had more updates for you guys this time. I haven't been going to county council meetings because they're in the middle of the day, and the bike shop has been really busy. It's that time of year, which is
Good.
great.
Yeah.
Good.
And then it's honestly kind of been a little bit of a slow news couple months. Everyone, it's shoulder season, it's mud season. There's not a lot going on, but yeah, I'll still be there, logging my hours at the meetings and keeping you guys posted.
I was going to say, I think I've noticed, just as far as, when you do your little, I don't want to say it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny when you do your little updates, you can see it's dark in the background and you're sitting in front of your screen. It's like, hey, put some light back there.
Yeah.
You can see who you are.
Dark. I started out as the dark bike shop. And so I've just been running the dark bike shop.
So you mentioned, are you selling your home? Did you say?
Yeah, my house is for sale.
Where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
You're not getting rid of me. I'm not going anywhere. But it's expensive to live in Heber. And that I purchased my house 2 years ago under the assumption that interest rates would come down and that I would be able to build an accessory dwelling unit. And interest rates, I don't know if you guys have noticed, have not come down.
Not come down. They've squidged down a little bit, but they're not down enough that I'm going to refinance.
Yeah. Right. And just given the historic nature of my home, built in 1905, and the lot that it sits on, I can't feasibly build something to get additional income. So yeah, I've listed it for sale, and since then also rent has come down quite a bit because there's a lot more units.
Yeah, there really has.
Yeah. It's half of what it was when I was looking. So I know it's not if it sells, I'm going to rent for a while. But yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I love it here. You can't beat this community.
You really can't.
No.
Even on its worst day, it's still so freaking awesome.
Well, and it's like you said, I think people that I deal with on Facebook and my circle of friends, it's kind of, I don't want to say the same 10 people, but it's the same 10 people. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the same 10 people, that's
sorry, just clicked.
Sorry,
who last thing slowest.
Things that kind of negative and this, but you can always go out and I've found it. I go to One Stop every morning and get a
their cashiers sandwich. Are the best. They always make me smile.
And they're always smiling. They're always happy. But it's just like somebody's walking in. I grab the door and a lady, hey, thanks for, thanks. Or I'm going out and they hold the door. I'm like, hey, thanks. It's just, I try, like you said, it's you smile at somebody, I'll smile at somebody and they smile back. Sometimes I smile at people and like,
grab the kids.
Yeah.
So
no, I love it here. I'm not going anywhere, but just looking to be a little less house poor.
We had an awesome encounter at Smith's the other day. My whole family was going, which is always chaos when you have the grocery store with both kids.
When Megan takes John to the store, it's chaos. It's just
this nice lady comes up that works there. She gives us like 2 little things full of candy for my kids, and like I just love seeing you guys here. It's great watching your family grow, and I'm like, you wouldn't get that anywhere else.
No, that's freaking awesome. Yeah, I know it's not the little town it used to be, but man, it's still a pretty good little town.
It still feels
And
good.
I was going to say, one thing I learned they had the Home Expo last Saturday. I walked through, you walked through. I saw you there.
Oh yeah, that place was going off.
And the Charleston 24th is going to be on the Saturdays, most likely the Saturdays before the 24th. So like this year, they're planning on the 19th because it's in the middle of the week.
Okay.
So I think it'll be good because, draw more crowds, a little more people. Because when it's on a Wednesday, you don't get as many people.
I've heard that's a good one too. Yeah, I haven't been able to go because it's always during shop hours.
It's always yeah. But it's fun. It's just a little. I grew up in Charleston and we did things like the beard growing contest. You would be excluded.
Yep. Disqualified.
But you get local people that you've never seen a beard on, and they've got this scruffy little scratchy stuff and pie eating contest, hot dog. They have a root beer chugging one, and it's always fun to see root beer come up somebody's nose. Here we are.
Are they going to do the pie eating contest that you and I did last year?
Actually, I think it was. Rachel's probably not on here, but the Red, White, and Blue Festival. They're doing a pie eating contest. They're doing a root beer chugging contest, and they're bringing back the firemen versus police tug of war.
Yeah.
If you haven't gone to the Red, White, and Blue Festival, it's pretty darn good.
I haven't been, and it's only because our tradition is going up to Oakley to the Oakley Parade.
Oh, yeah.
This year, we're going to split, and Anna is actually going to take Super Can truck up to the parade in Oakley, and we still have the trailer, and I'm hoping to get a generator, pressure washer, and pull it with one of those ones heating vehicles and then have somebody in the back spraying
The crowd,
water.
cool them down.
Yeah, that'll be a good idea.
That'd be fun.
Usually we get voluntold that we'll be in front of like the drill team or the cheerleaders so we can mist up in the air and they can cool off.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to warmer weather. I'm usually a snowmobile. I like the winter, but I don't like the winter anymore.
Yeah, I'm ready for summer.
Me too. It was a good winter this winter, but I'm ready for summer too.
Yeah, it was nice.
Ready for the windows down.
I tell you, I saw a post about somebody launched 2 boats on Strawberry.
Is it uniced already?
It's not uniced, but there was a very slim, like 75 yards of water. And from what I heard, they backed their trucks down next to the ramp because the ramp was like clear. And it was like muddy and they had to get hip waders on to launch their boat. I was like, that's dedication.
That is dedication.
But they were out there fishing. They can say they were the first ones to fish ice off on a boat.
They can have that title.
I'd always be afraid if an ice chunk floated over to where I launched the boat and then I couldn't get the boat out of the water.
Titanic again.
So.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you guys. Great to see you again. You guys are crushing it. Keep it up.
We're trying. Appreciate that.
We're trying. Hopefully we get either this studio kind of a little better. There might be maybe a move somewhere, maybe a better studio, maybe a bigger studio. We don't know.
I like this grassroots effect quite a bit.
Yeah. Can't beat the view. We
some-
just need a window right there that we can.
Got some big ideas for what's coming up. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Heber City, we love you. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Next week?
We'll figure something out next week.
All right. We'll see you next week.